After years of hard work, Iron Lung is officially out today, January 30th. I saw an early screening yesterday and want to talk about it and give my very positive thoughts. I don't normally review movies, but Iron Lung is special. It's one of my favorite horror games, and Mark is one of my favorite people, so I feel the need to discuss it. There will be some spoilers, so I will flash this when it's time. For those that don't know, Iron Lung is a short indie horror game by David Szymanski, released in 2022. In Iron Lung, you're sealed into a submarine that you must pilot in an ocean of blood on an alien moon. You take pictures and collect data. Mark did do playthroughs of the main game, the lore, and the cheats update that you can watch. They're great. All three videos watching back to back is a great time and gives some insight into how he did the movie. Iron Lung is a phenomenal movie if you like cosmic horror and slow burn horror movies and games as well. Pretty much everything about it was great. Lighting, camera work, Mark's acting, despite seeing a lot of people thinking Mark can't act, which in fact is so untrue. Mark definitely can act, as I didn't really see Mark a lot of the movie. I saw the convict, which is his character, which is also in the game, it's just not named. There were maybe one or two scenes where I thought, that's more of a Markiplier thing than it is a convict. It's still great. Mark did great acting. For a movie that is 2 hours and 7 minutes of him in one singular room inside of a submarine, it's great. It's better than I thought it would be. It's better than most people thought it would be. It's a massive accomplishment. It's impressive. It's stunning. It's extraordinarily just amazing at what Mark pulled off with this movie, given the circumstances of it being self-funded, self-published. It's an indie movie based off an indie game that took 3 years to make. This rate, Mark has spent quite some time making this movie. The first teaser for the movie was in 2023, and then we got the first trailer later that year, and then the final trailer December of last year. It's a long time coming, but at the same time, it was worth the wait. Mark clearly put passion and love and a lot of hard work and a couple hospital trips in this movie, including getting just a massive amount of blood in his eyes, as Iron Lung broke the record for the most blood used in a movie, which is, I think, very fitting considering it's a movie entirely based in an ocean of blood. So it fits, and it's very Markiplier to break a record like that. I'm impressed. I'm really happy with how the movie came out. I know Mark, the crew, everybody involved, including David, is pretty happy with the movie. And Andrew Holschultz for doing the soundtrack, which, let me just say, soundtrack was phenomenal. Listening to it even now, it's great. What you're listening to right now, the soundtrack is really good, okay? Just listen to it. Watch the movie first, then listen to the soundtrack by itself. It complements the movie so perfectly that I don't think Andrew's getting enough credit for it. I don't think anyone's getting enough credit for how good this movie is in terms of horror movies and on this scale. Massive kudos. The movie was great. I loved everything about it. It might have been at least, I don't know, a little too long, but it's fine because of the slow burn effect that the movie has. You don't want it to just immediately jump into the meat, the nitty and gritty of the movie, slowly building up to what the movie is. It's A to B, right? You don't want A to jump to B immediately, so you have that in between where it's like slowly building up things. That way the climactic finale is just that much better. And oh boy, was it. It was well worth, it was pretty good. The characters, the world building, the extra lore that was added compared to the game, which the game doesn't tell you a lot. There is the lore update that added some more background stuff like Filament Station, SM8, the other moons, but the movie kind of does its own thing and expands upon it in, I want to say, its own canon. You could say the game and the movie are separate. I think Mark actually said that in an interview, that the game and the movie coexist, but they're different canon, and that's completely fine. What the movie set out to do, it did really well. The effects were nice, dialogue, acting, camera work, lighting, spookiness. Wasn't actually scary, but the tension and the atmosphere and suspense were done really well. It was grotesque. It was pretty gory at times. For a basic review, it's a solid 8.5 out of 10. I'm gonna go see it at least 2 more times in theaters, and that's probably gonna bump it to a 9. And then, you know, if it home streaming, physical release, gonna watch it more. I can easily say it's a top 10 movie of all time for me now. In terms of like horror movies and movies in general. It's very akin to The Thing in terms of cosmic horror and the unknown, unnatural things that the human mind should not be able to comprehend. So, Iron Lung, solid movie, very well worth watching. I'm gonna replay the game again. Kudos to Mark and the whole team, honestly. Time for the blood and flesh of the movie. First, the convict. Having a name is great. Simon was a solid character. I felt bad for him, but also with the background information we were given about Filament Station being destroyed, him being accused. I got the idea he still did some dirty shit, and he deserved punishment, but I don't think anybody deserved the punishment he was given. No one deserves to be sealed into an iron lung and lowered into an ocean of blood. So Simon was a solid character. Felt for him. I could tell he was very sorry at times, while also having tons of regret and guilt. Mark gave a faceless character from the game a very well face, to put it in a neat way. You had Ava, which was a very good side character who later in the movie meets her fate in a final attempt to rescue Simon from the Iron Lung to retrieve data. And it's one of the more harrowing scenes, or jarring scenes of the movie, which I'll get to in a minute. Her character was great, especially during the X-ray scene. Seemed like a character who somewhat deep down did not like the things they were doing, and kind of felt bad that Simon had to go down there. But at the same time, she had a job to do, and Simon was a convict. To them, convicts like Simon are expendable, and they know what they're getting into. You know, they're sealed into that submarine. There's no coming back. And she became a very good antagonist, I want to say. She wasn't the main villain of the movie, but she was still a good antagonist. And written well, acted well. Caroline Kaplan did great as Ava. There was also Troy Baker. Troy Baker was in the movie. It's David. It had a pretty decent cast. You had Elsie Lovelock as the SM8 research lead. Elle Lamont as the research assistant on the SM8. Everyone was pretty much voices. There was only like maybe a couple people that were physically in the movie. Obviously Mark being the main one, because we see him the whole time. The whole movie is in the Iron Lung, so I mean, obviously we're gonna see him the most. But you also had David Petit as the father. Alana Pierce was also in the movie. It's a familiar voice. You had Jacksepticeye, Sean. He played Jack. I think he was the welder. Yeah, I think he was the welder. You had Ethan, of course. Ethan was in the movie as additional voices. David Szymanski was in it. So yeah, there was a pretty good cast. And shout out to everyone that was in it, as they did a pretty good job. Pretty good job. The backstory of Simon and his brothers on Filament Station, and the Rapture getting more explanation was pretty good. The game doesn't give you like a whole ton. It leaves a lot to be imagined and desired. So it was nice having more of a backstory on like who Simon is, why he's here, his brothers, which that also is kind of explained later in the movie. Filament Station getting more explanation with the kids and Eden. Submarine, I want to point out, was pretty one-to-one to the game, minus the low polyness. So of course the movie variant is going to have more details, like the speaker, which was added in the update. Mark mentions that in his playthrough, that the movie had the speaker before the game did, so I mean that's kind of funny. The submarine looked great. Him using the X-ray machine as a light, genius. It was smart. I would have done the same thing. I think anyone would, because there's no lights in it. Underneath the submarine was a new addition that the game did not have, which is very cool. Tiny little crawl space that we do see once or twice. I loved the few nods of the game, like the hidden note and the cheats update. Do wish there was more fire, because, you know, in the game there's like a fire that happens. I can't remember if it's once or twice, but there was a fire. I want to talk about the X-ray camera for a second, because the game never really acknowledged this. In the movie, when Simon gets pulled up for the first time after being lowered, while they're doing repairs to the submarine, he hits the button for the X-ray camera, and everyone freaks out because you find out that the camera that takes pictures, you know, underwater like you do in the game, it's an X-ray camera. And when he takes a picture, it gives everybody radiation. Now, that doesn't really matter later in the movie, but the reveal of the camera being an X-ray camera is very important when you take into consideration the things that you take pictures of in the game and the stuff that he takes pictures of in the movie. Meaning, don't know if it's canon to the games, but simply would imply everything that's taken a picture of is alive, and you're only seeing the skeleton. One of the biggest reveals of the movie to me was that, because it just told me that, oh shit, everything Mark is seeing down there skeleton-wise, probably alive. Some of it, yes, there were some skeletons. There was like people, but at least I think there are people. In the game, at least, that's not really told. You're just taking pictures of stuff, and it's assumed that skeletons and bones. Minus the actual fish, because you do see the fish at least twice before, you know, it happens. The movie taking it a bit step further and revealing it's an X-ray camera kind of makes it scarier. Adds more depth to the fact that there is something down there. They know about it. Simon doesn't. He's trying to tell them, hey, there's something alive. They don't care. To me, the camera was brilliant. Is brilliantly done, especially since you see him take a lot of pictures before the reveal. Kudos on the camera thing. Simon's rapid spiral into insanity was amazing, as he was alone the whole time. Not once did he leave the submarine. He was down there the whole time by himself, going insane, starting to hallucinate, and got even worse when he discovered the SM-13, and then eventually losing his shit completely after the reveal that the SM-13 was not actually the SM-13, and it was the creature. So that was extremely cool and just scary as shit to think about. That was done extremely well. The blood somehow being an organism that can assimilate beings is a very cosmic horror touch that I loved. Very well done. The mysterious light anomaly was done great and kept it a cosmic misery to be desired, which I want to know more, but knowing less is typically good sometimes in these cosmic horror situations. The light anomaly is never fully explained. It's rumored and like kind of just thought to be this heart of the ocean type thing that can, in the game, it teleports your ship after you are done taking a picture of it. So it's like one of the cooler mysteries. To me, it's like the coolest mystery, because like, what is that shining light in the water, or the blood? Fish is a giant fish, or so we think it is. Could be something else. Could be a bunch of people. Blood hallucination with the giant eye ripped right from Abiotic Factor, in a way, was one of the coolest scenes in the entire movie. It's shown in one of the earlier trailers, like Mark getting up covered in blood, just drink. That scene was fucking beautiful, I will say. It was just incredibly gorgeous of a scene of just the ocean of blood, him getting up and seeing the giant eye in the sky. Awesome. I have no complaints on that. Making the SM-8 more of a character and vital piece of the puzzle was excellent, as in the game, it was just told that it's a ship. It was the only submarine actually sent down for research that was meant to come back. Yours, however, was not. So the SM-8 having more character was awesome. The mystery of the black box was a brand new thing. It was interesting as it holds a massive key of data that apparently is the key to saving humanity. Which, you know, maybe we'll find out about that, maybe we won't. When the blood starts flowing in and starting to corrode the sub, and like eventually Simon was bloody, was awesome, honestly. Like, I don't know, that's like, it was done really well. Because in the game the blood starts to flow in the ship, but in the movie it was blown out of proportion in a good way. In a good way. The mystery of who Simon was talking to over the intercom, that wasn't Ava. During the third act of the movie, he's talking to a woman on the mic. Presumably it's the woman from the SM-8. It's clearly not. She's been dead. That ship was in pieces. It is assumed that the creature, when it assimilates the ships and eats the people, it takes over their voice to lure things in. If that's true, massively creepy. Was who he's talking? Was it the estimate woman? Was it the fish after assimilating her so long ago? The 30-minute sequence was a very massive, major part of the movie, because at that point it was Ava being told that he found the estimate, so she starts a rescue mission to go get Mark. We know it's a lie. It's a lie. He's not getting rescued. She's gonna go down there, transfer the data, and dip. Fortunately, that doesn't go well. As Mark gets the data, he downloads everything, which, small little bullet point. He uses the terminal like he did in the game, typing random bullshit into the prompt as to see if results come up. We all did the same thing. Typed "fuck you" into the terminal, did nothing. We all did that too, so it was a nice touch. He downloaded the audio, Ava's sub. He starts to freak out on the radio, and when you look at the monitor, her submarine is in the jaws of the creature as the creature basically eats it. The creature explodes and just destroys the submarine, killing her and assimilating her, presumably. It was a very jarring scene, seeing that, because of how terrifying it looked. Just imagine something that terrifying. So that was done really well. It was a gut-wrenching in a very scary way. Then we get to the finale of the movie. Mark is in the sub, covered in blood. The blood starts doing things to him. Blood starts terraforming the submarine. He loses an arm, which was very well done. It was gruesome, bloody, done exceptionally well. Very good part of the movie. He doesn't react because of just the adrenaline and shock he's in from everything that's happening. It's at that point Simon realizes he's dead. He's not surviving this. So he makes it his goal to at least make sure the black box can survive. And I mean, it's just chef's kiss. Simon's starting to melt as the blood starts to refigure him. It was gross, but is so beautifully done. Also was foreshadowed. There's an earlier scene in the movie where Mark sees someone sitting in his chair. That's him from the end of the movie. Probably. And it's a good foreshadowing moment that draws the tension up so much more and is done very well. The finale, as Simon realizes he's going to die and accepts his fate as he submerges in blood, with the final shot of the movie of the creature destroying the sub and exploding, was cinema. It was absolute cinema. It was creepy, sad, eye-widening. It was eye-widening. I want to say that. It was such a phenomenal scene, directed so well. And then you have the final thing of the black box surfacing to the top, which leads me to believe there's still more. Time will tell. Mark, on his Iron Lung playthrough, also mentioned SCP-354 that was a blood lake, and at the time, I didn't think about it. When Mark mentioned that in his playthrough, and then after watching the movie, I made the small connection that the Blood Ocean and the Blood Lake SCP have a couple things in common, and it wouldn't surprise me if Mark took some inspiration from SCP-354 for the movie. If that's the case, bravo, and kudos to that little Easter egg and reference and connection, as it didn't catch my eye the first time, but thinking about it, nice one on that, Mark. Biggest mystery that excites me, and I really want to learn more, is what is that fish? Where did it come from? Was it the voices of SM8 and more people? And if so, how and why? Is it just an amalgamation of all the people that died? What about the other moons? Was the MS8 just a cover up for the, so something bigger? Another big mystery is the Blood Ocean all the people that died? Is the Blood Ocean the Rapture itself? Because that makes sense, right? Blood Ocean and the Rapture being one makes a lot of sense. That's a terrifying thought, and I don't know if there would be a sequel. If not, no biggie. The world, it's got interesting lore. Very, very interesting lore. Spoilers over. Other than that, phenomenal movie. Solid 8 out of 10. I'm gonna see it a couple more times. The score's probably gonna go up. Some people have said there's been some audio mixing problems in theaters. I didn't personally see it. There was like one scene where a bunch of people were talking at once. That was like the only part, or inaudible part, but it's fine. It didn't really distract from the movie. So, very well done, Mark. Kudos to the whole team. Self-publishing, self-financing a indie movie of this caliber. Making a movie 2 hours long that takes place entirely within one room is some of the most impressive things you can do. It's Very compliments to the chef on Mark for making a 2-hour-long movie inside a submarine be as entertaining, enjoyable, just heart-wrenching as it was. It was a slow burn at first, but once it started to kick in, the movie kicked in. It very well did. The second and third act, I don't think I blinked. I didn't. It was so good, and it works the way that it did. Kudos to Mark and the whole team, and David. Every single person involved making the movie. David for making the game. I'm gonna go thank him later. Iron Lung was a phenomenal movie. It really was. Go see it. Don't really do horror movies all that much. My favorite horror movie is The Thing, and then now it'd be the Iron Lung. Very compliments. I can't wait to see what's next, if there is anything next. I don't know what the plans are, if Mark is gonna make another one, do a completely different thing, if David makes a sequel game, or maybe there's a reimagining of the game that expands more lore from the movie. Who knows? If it stops here, there's a wild ride. And it's a very good wild ride, indeed. Go see it. Iron Lung's out today. Fantastic movie. If you like cosmic horror movies, slow burn, it's for you. It's great. It's not gonna be for everybody, but I think it's gonna be for most buddy.
Thank you. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!